Naging Panauhing Pandangal at tagapagsalita naman si Baguio City Mayor Benjamin B. Magalong sa naging kick-off ceremony ng ika-28 Police Community Relations Month celebration. Kanyang binigyang diin ang mahalagang pagkakaroon ng good governance sa ating bansa. Narito at panoorin natin ang kanyang naging mensahe.
And I stand before you humbled and honored and feeling at home as I address distinguished assembly as we celebrate the 28th Police Community Relations Month. It's nice to be with people of my own kind, and admittedly and honestly, I miss the Philippine National Police. Our theme, serbisyong nagkakaisa para sa ligtas at maunlad na pamayanan, perfectly encapsulates the spirit of unity and shared responsibility that we must uphold in order to create a safe and prosperous community. Today, we celebrate the power of collaboration, meaning law enforcement agencies and the community. For it is through this partnership that we can achieve remarkable progress. However, as we reflect on the significance of this occasion, we cannot ignore the challenges we face. It is no secret that trust in the police force has been strained. Incidents that undermine public confidence have left scars on the relationships between law enforcement and the communities they serve. We cannot shy away from this reality. Instead, we must confront it with honesty, with humility, and a commitment to change. Nakakatuwa na nitong nakaraang controversial issue about drugs, hindi ito nasolve ng ibang tao. No less than the PNP took cognizance of this problem. It was the PNP who led all the issues, all the investigations para maayos itong problema na ito. What is important is, while it is true that we fell, nadapa tayo'y bumangon, we learn from it, and we move on. The essence of true public service lies in the spirit of being men and women for others. We are not merely here to enforce the law, but to be a beacon of hope. We must recognize that each member of the community has a unique perspective, and their voices deserve to be heard. By embracing diversity and inclusivity, we can build stronger and more resilient communities that thrive on the richness of our differences. To the Philippine National Police, led by General Benji Acorda, I want to commend your dedication and commitment to keeping our communities safe. Let me also thank Major General Mario Reyes for inviting me today. Maraming salamat, Mario. We have been together in the PCR. Your tireless efforts in maintaining peace and order are truly admirable. However, let us not forget that our role extends beyond law enforcement. You must be ambassadors of compassion, understanding, and justice. Your badge should serve as a symbol of trust, a promise that we are here to protect and serve all members of society and promote good governance. I urge each and every member of the Philippine National Police to join me in this very challenging journey of good governance. Believe me, it is the most noble among all the noble legacies that we are going to pass on to the next generation. As we commemorate the milestone in police community relations, let us recount or recommit ourselves to the ideals that unite us. Together, let us continue to foster an environment of collaboration, trust, and respect. I stand before you today, not just as a local chief executive, but as a fellow advocate for change, a former member of the Philippine National Police. I call upon each and every one of you to join me in this mission. For it is through collective efforts that we will usher in a new era of serbisyong nagkakaisa. Serbisyong marangal. Serbisyong matino. Building and restoring trust is not a simple task. It requires us to actively listen to the grievances and concerns of the community and to acknowledge the pain and frustrations felt by individuals who have experienced injustice or abuse. We must demonstrate a genuine commitment to accountability and transparency and take swift and decisive actions against those who betray the trust placed in them. Our efforts to rebuild trust must be accompanied by our collective efforts and shared commitment. We must work together with community leaders and every member of society to be able to foster an environment of safety and well-being. It is within this context, an environment of safety and well-being, and it is in this context that we must recognize the vital role of good governance as a catalyst for positive change. Good governance serves as the cornerstone upon which our vision for a safer and more prosperous society. It is a principle that guides our actions, ensuring transparency, accountability, integrity, and competence in every decision that we make. By upholding the values of good governance, we create a solid foundation for effective public service and meaningful community engagement. Let me temporarily set aside my manuscript. Instead, let me speak from my mind and from my heart. Let me give you some facts about what is happening in the entire country today. Last April, news came out that our national debt is already at 13.86 trillion. Remember that when President Duterte started his administration as President of the Philippines, our national debt was at 5.7 trillion, accumulated for decades. In just a matter of 7 years, our national debt increased by as much as 142%. We're now at 13.86 trillion. In short, we are already above the 60% debt to GDP ratio. Ang ibig sabihin niyan, each and every Filipino, kapapanganak pa lang, may utang na 113,000 pesos. According to Carchua, our ability to pay our debt would depend on our ability to manage our financial leakages. And so I asked, ano ba yung financial leakage? And no less than the former Secretary of NEDA said, ang final leakage na sinasabi ko, a big chunk of that goes to corruption. And surprisingly, when the news came out, na ang utang pala natin is already at 13.86 trillion, only very, very few members of our legislative branch, people from Congress, raised hell. Ulitin ko, only very few raised hell. We're not going to ask ourselves, is corruption now becoming a norm in government? Is good governance becoming an exception? Nakakalungkot na meron na nga silang tinatawag na porsyento sa bawat project. Hindi pa nagsawa. May porsyento na nga sila. Sila pa yung contractor. Hindi pa rin nagsawa. May porsyento na nga sila. Sila pa rin yung contractor. Sila pa rin yung supplier. Unfortunately, only few people raise this issue. Good governance, get yourself involved. As I've said, Baguio City is leading a network of young local chief executives, hoping that we will become a movement, hoping that we will transform ourselves into a COVID-19 virus, become a pandemic, become infectious, highly transmissible, highly contagious, so that we will be able to infect other local government units and local government officials and prove to them that true enough, good governance really works. Good governance is not only about corruption. It's about sustainability. It's about innovation. It's about dynamism, resiliency. It's about authentic leadership. It's a politics of hope, not a politics of frustration. It's not a politics of hate, but a politics of goodwill and understanding. It's not a politics of criticisms, but a politics of encouragement. And more importantly, it's not a politics of lies, but a politics of truth.